Howdy y'all, the Fishing Man here. Today I would like to show you how to clean a Glock 19. So first and foremost, before you do any cleaning of the sort, make sure your firearm is fully unloaded. Many injuries are caused by guns not being properly unloaded before cleaning. So you just remove the mag. You can't assume it's unloaded. There could be a bullet in the chamber. So to do that, you have to pull back and look down the barrel. Mine has nothing in it, so it's good. So I'm going to pull the trigger to dry fire it to get ready to be taken apart. So for this particular model, this is a Glock 19 9mm Gen 3. You have to put your hand positioned somewhat like this, and I'm using my right hand to do this, and you pull back ever so slightly. You can see it's just ever so slightly misaligned, so just like so. And you take your left hand or your other hand and you pull down on these little tabs right here. So you pull down and you push forward, and your slide should come off like this. So now you got the your Glock 19 in pieces, and you take the spring out, you just push down and they'll just pop right out. You can slide your barrel out just like so. Now you got your slide, your barrel, and your spring. You got all your pieces off like so. So first and foremost, when I go to clean my Glock, I like to wipe it down using Q-tips and an old rag. So the purpose of this, before you put any cleaner on at all, the purpose of wiping it down with a rag is there's all this grime and soot from when you're shooting it, from when you're carrying it around, that gets built up on the actual gun itself. And if you don't wipe it down before you start cleaning it, put any cleaner and trying to wipe it down, it's basically going to turn all of that into like mud. So I recommend, using a rag, Q-tips for the hard areas. Just wipe as much stuff as you can get down. And to do this, make sure you use an old rag, because this will stain. So don't use any rags that your wife or anybody would get mad at you for using. So just use an old rag that no one cares about, and you can just wipe that on down. Just like so. Get some Q-tips. Just go along the rails. And all these crooks and crannies. Actually, mine isn't too bad. I haven't fired it recently. I'm just cleaning it because of carrying it. It's been a little bit. You can even see, look at all that. If you were just to put cleaner, just turn it into mud, make it so much dirtier. Here we go. And make sure you get the actual frame of the gun, the slide, pretty much anywhere where there's tight corners. The barrel, for the most part, you really don't have any tight corners, so you don't have to really worry about it as much. Here we go, just like so. And then I got a little gun cleaning kit from the store. It came with all sorts of brushes, some bore cleaner, some lubricant. So I'll be using that today, as well as rem oil, which will help clean and lube the gun as well. So you want to get the correct wire brush for your barrel. Let's see. Okay, just like so. This one's a bit tight, so and I'm going to use that rim oil. I'm just going to spray it on. This is also where that rag comes in handy, because you can use that when you're spraying or using cleaners. I would clean over the rag, so whatever surface you're using doesn't get filthy from when you're cleaning your gun out. And you want to put that cleaner in here and scrub your barrel. Scrub it fairly good. Let it sit a little bit to break down any dirt and grime. You can toss the spring off to the side, just like so. Then I like to use some Q-tips to help start cleaning the slide out. And just look at that. I mean, I wiped it down, and look at all that dirt that's just sitting there, even after wiping it down. Scrubbing down the barrel now, or not the barrel, the slide now. There we go. Getting that all cleaned up. So pretty much what I'm scrubbing down now, I'm scrubbing the areas like right in front of the firing pin. Pretty much anything that has friction. All this part's down in here. Actually, let me show that. So pretty much the rails, any parts down here right in front of the firing pin. I'm scrubbing that down on the rail here. I'm gonna wipe this off. And it's important to wipe off all this cleaner, because you don't want this just sitting on your gun. It's meant to take away all that dirt and grime. You don't want it to hurt your gun in any way and fashion or hinder it from performing. So try to wipe it down as best as you can there. Then use a Q-tip to get down in the nooks and crannies there. Just like so. It's looking pretty good there. So now you got the frame of the actual gun, and you're going to want to clean all this areas here. So I mean, I would use and once you're done using the Q-tip, have a pile off to the side, because you don't want to keep using that same Q-tip over and over again. You don't want to be smearing dirt and grime all over your gun that you just on sections you just cleaned, but just because you didn't discard a Q-tip. That wouldn't be fun. Let's see. Here we go. Now we're gonna use our rag and try to wipe this down. Make sure you try to use clean section of the rag too. I mean, just like the Q-tip, you don't want to be using dirty sections of your rag to wipe down your gun. Wipe this down, and then we'll use it, once we have this wiped down, we'll use a Q-tip to get back in the nooks and crannies to get all that cleaner out of there right before we start lubing her and re-putting her back together. Actually, we still got to finish out the barrel, which we're going to be cleaning out in just a second. We're going to finish that out. And also, to wiping this down just to get the cleaner off too, will sometimes get off more dirt and grime that you weren't able to get before. So it's kind of nice in a way. I mean, look at all that. And it's after wiping it down a couple times. Here we go. It's looking pretty good actually right there. We got all that cleaner up. It's actually looking really nice and clean as well. So actually we're going to finish the barrel now. So we scrubbed it out with some bore cleaner. And we let it sit there a little bit, and to eat up any dirt and grime that's still left in it. So now we're going to take a tool like this. We're going to feed these cloths through it. And what we're going to do there is going to act as basically a rag inside our barrel to get up any cleaner, to get up any dirt that we have left in there. We're probably going to use a couple of these. Let me get my adapter piece so I can stick that up in there. Just like so. We're going to put it in there. We're going to go in, and I typically twirl mine. You can only do about half the barrel with this attachment, or at least for a Glock 19 with this one. Actually, that's coming out really nice and clean. Just has a lot of cleaner in there. That's actually coming out really nice and clean, which is nice. So we'll keep doing that until we get all the cleaner and whatnot out, because we want to get that nice and clean in there. And again, you know, once you use it, just discard it off to the side. That's actually looking really good. So we're going to move on to the other side. See, that's not looking too bad either, actually. One more, and I think we'll have her cleaned out pretty well, actually. The barrel's looking really nice and clean, which is good. There we go, just like so. Wipe the barrel down as well. So now here comes the last part. You want to lube your gun, and this will help make all the parts move well when you fire your gun, when you rack your gun, causing your gun to have a prolonged life to it. Because you don't want to shorten your gun's life expectancy by not lubing it, because you have all those pieces just moving against each other. I mean, it's like when you don't grease a wheel bearing on a car. It just sits there and it'll work, but it'll wear it out so much quicker, and you have to replace that wheel bearing very quickly. So basically what we're going to do for oiling it up, anything honestly that's really shiny, that gets a lot of friction, like we'll oil this barrel, we'll lube this barrel real well. All these metal parts here will lube also too. On the slide, you want to get the rails, the grooves in the slide even, the rack back and forth. You're going to want to get some of this stuff too. You're not going to have to like oil your firing pin mechanism. You're not going to have to put oil in front of that. Pretty much you just have to get these rails here, which will be good. And then you want to oil the spring as well. So I'm going to get my Q-tip together. Going to spray a little, this is lube on here, and we'll start lubing it up. I like to over lube my gun when I do it. I wipe off the excess from the outside and whatnot, but that way I like to have extra lube, rather have more than not enough, basically. So that's how I do it, basically. So we got that lubed up like so. Let's get the frame of the gun. If you do it if you lube your firearm just the way I'm doing, you'll have more than enough lubrication on there, honestly. I mean, I was just getting all these parts that, you know, consistently move and whatnot, just like so. Just gotta get the barrel, and we should be all good. Well, after we get the spring too, so I mean, just like so. I'll work that into that spring just a little bit. So now we're ready to start putting back together our gun. So we're going to start with, we're going to put the barrel back in the slide. Then we're going to place the spring, going to put it up in there. You've got to push just a little bit and set it on that little lip right there, and your slide's all back in order. Now to put it back onto the frame of the gun, you just take it, line it up with the rails, push it on, pull it back and rack it like so. And that barrel's on. What I like to do, just to make sure that lube gets everywhere it needs to, before I wipe it down, is I like to rack it a few times. Get it nice and lubed up. It's actually feeling really nice and lubed. Feels like it fires really nice. That's awesome. So now the final process is, there's a lot of extra oil here on the slide and whatnot. You know, just the excess. So I just take my rag there, just wipe that down. Try to use a cleaner section of the rag. Just wipe that down like so. And there you go. You now have cleaned a Glock 19. It has been oiled, lubed, cleaned. It's ready to be taken to the range. Okay, until next time, you got the fishing man here. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and come back for more. Thank y'all, and y'all have a blessed evening.